How are you? Huh?
There we go.
How about us? You know, it's the Paul Rudd. Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Sexy
How are you, Brad Adam?
I'm well.
Good.
Paul Rudd, you're like the sexiest man in the world.
I feel a
Was that
little
last
Paul.
year? Yeah.
I think so. It was last year. Yeah, I feel a little Paul Rudd like. It's been a minute since we've talked.
God, I know. And you look good.
I've missed you.
Because we got cameras on. We got
Yeah.
makeup on. We got. I mean, this.
I
is
do.
full-
I think
full
I
production.
do. We need makeup.
I always say, hey, I always err on the side of yes.
So go
If you
makeup.
have to
All
ask
right.
yourself a question, just go makeup.
Okay. So all right.
I like that.
Hold on. I'm writing down the notes. There's a lot of notes I'm taking.
Well, now that you're going to be a TV star, not just.
Well, yeah. So no, I've got to.
podcast
Okay.
/ TV.
Put
Makeup.
on makeup
Yeah.
and lose weight.
Lose weight. And mix it up a little bit, hoodie. Sometimes you wear, maybe a collared shirt.
Yeah, you know what I was
like
thinking about?
Sweatshirt. Actually,
Do several of these interviews, like you're trying to, and there's different space now, so you got to pound out a bunch of different stuff. I've got to change the outfits as the different guests go.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, you can't just wear that hoodie, or maybe get sponsored by Nike.
I would love to get sponsored by. Again, this is
Hey, if you're
pucksports.com.
Yeah,
We
on,
are
Mike.
taking
Come on.
any and all advertisement. You have a company? No, there's
Doesn't
nothing about
matter.
too small, too big. We will take all of it here
No-
on the
no-
radio show.
No relation to sports. We don't care. We'll take it.
No, it doesn't matter. Now, you, my friend, John Howie Steak, big thanks to John Howie, who brings you Brad Adam one more time. It's just served on a different platform now.
Exactly.
It's a multimedia platform.
Maybe this new platform is a chance for me to finally meet John Howie.
You still haven't met him,
I
huh?
haven't met him. When I go, I always ask for him, and it's so funny because they're like,
like,
"Oh, he's not
sir."
here," and who the hell are you?
They're like,
Why
sir,
would John want to talk to you?
he doesn't want to come talk to you.
No.
You know how many times someone probably says to us, "Hey, is John here?"
John
No, he's
here.
not.
Do you
They
know
want to
him?
be ignored, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Um,
I'll keep trying. I'll drop your name again and.
Good. Well,
maybe
please
it'll help
do.
me out. Yeah.
Please do. Well, I want to first and foremost say thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. It means the world to me. Yes, prayer. Thank you. It means the world to me that you agreed to do this, and for John to be a part of it as well. So thank you so much.
Yes. Absolutely.
Obviously, because you've experienced a little bit of this. I mean, this turmoil of media, right? TV and radio and all of it. It's I've been going through it for the last few months, but obviously you guys, your situation over there, and we don't get into that, but I'm just like, it's hard. The new media landscape is an interesting one, and I would just say this: I hope for all of you over there and everyone in front of the camera, behind the camera, everyone involved. I hope everything works out.
Yeah, thank you. We do as well, and it is an interesting time as the landscape changes. As you know, you're a part of it. I think this season, I think everything's going to look exactly the same, which is great news. And going forward, it's just kind of roll with the punches type of thing. So, we're excited about this year. I know we're going to talk about the Mariners, but, all season long, everything's as is with us in Root Sports and pre and post, and we're excited about it for sure. Should be.
You think we could bring back? Can we bring back? I don't want to say it's a swung song. Is there any way we can bring back some old voices? Could I get a Cameron Wong to come back for just like a 1 week run?
Hey, the story that Cameron Wong's story. My dad always.
I love
brings
Cameron
up-
Wong.
I love him too. I think he was selling cars. I think the last time
Okay, all
I
right.
heard about. My dad brings up who was the guy who in spring training, when you guys used to do spring training shows, we used to do a nightly show in spring training.
Yeah, sure.
That we'd go find stuff to do around the Peoria, Phoenix area. And I don't know how he did it, but because he's Cameron, he came up and found ostrich racing. And he did a story on ostrich
I bet it was
racing.
good.
It was Cameron Wong good. It was.
Yeah.
And my dad said, Cameron Wong, he's like, that's right, Cameron Wong, the ostrich racing story.
Good.
People would ride ostriches and race. Yeah, it was a different time.
It was a different time. And then maybe we'll sneak in a Cara Capuano,
Yeah.
We
She's
just
back
do it.
working like
Let's do it all.
ACC network. But yeah, we can bring them back. Yeah.
Good.
Kind of
Well, you've been
best
around
of.
the best of. We've been around the team. It's almost here. It's about to start. It's about to get underway. What do you feel? How do you feel about the team? What do you know? What you guys are around them. You've seen it. There's obviously a lot of stuff in the off season. Did they do enough? Did they not do enough? Like, did they spend enough money? Not spend enough money? But how do you feel about the team? Like, kind of feel where they're at right now here as we're on the cusp of opening day.
Yeah, I think we'll all agree opening day is pretty special because everybody kind of is bought in to the team. And it's like that perfect day, right, where you're in first place. And, I mean, you got a couple injuries, but for the most part, everybody's healthy and ready to go, a lot of optimism. And I certainly share in that. I think they did enough in the offseason offensively. I think they obviously could have done more. But I think they did enough to have a better roster if they stay healthy, a better offense. And you couple that with the pitching, and I know they took a little hit with Wu being out a couple of weeks or whatever that's going to end up being. But that pitching is so good, and you've got a little better offense, and they were very average last year. I think that they've got a good shot of winning the West, but I will say that they got to stay healthy, Puck. And everybody says that, but they've got players – like specifically that have a hard time posting. You know that with Haniger and Garver and Polanco. I mean, if these guys can all figure things out and third base kind of works out a little bit, I mean, this is a better team that won, 88, 89 games last year, 90 games 2 years before that. I mean, I think they can win the West because of their pitching. Their pitching is so much better than Houston and Texas, the rotation. That gives them the edge right there. But, I mean, we'll see how it plays out.
But it is, you're right, because it's a lot of ifs with the team. I mean, you can start looking down, I was looking at the lineup, and everyone's looking at the lineup. I mean, you look at JP, you look at Julio and Polanco and Garver, Cal, Haniger, Canzone, France, Rojas. I mean, that likely is going to be kind of your lineup. I would assume your everyday lineup that you're probably going to see out there. And I think it's longer. It definitely is. It feels like it's void of a lot of holes, but there are a lot of ifs to it.
Right.
It's an if Mitch Haniger can stay healthy, if Garver and Polanco can stay healthy. I mean, these are, Garver's a guy who just hasn't played a lot of games.
Right.
He's never really made it all that far into the season. Now, maybe in this different role, he'll be okay. And then Canzone and Rojas are just two guys that they just haven't had to be dependent on to play a full season. And then the great wild card, of course, is going to be Ty France. So, I mean, on paper, I get what they did, and I understand it. But there are a lot of what ifs to it.
You're exactly right. And I think when you have a Haniger, healthy Haniger, and a kind of rejuvenated Ty France batting, sixth and seventh, or seventh and eighth, or sixth and eighth, whatever they're going to bat, I mean, that's pretty impressive. A Canzone between them who's got unbelievable power potential. Again, we haven't seen it every day at a major league level, and he's going to play with Rayleigh a little bit in left field. I'm not sure how that platoon is going to work, or how third is going to work with Urias and Rojas. But you're right. I think it's a deeper lineup. And again, with the pitching and bullpen, I mean, this is a really complete team. And I think the bounce back guy for me is my fellow Aztec as we look forward to taking down UConn, the defending champs.
And we're all pulling for you. Come on, Aztecs.
Come on, Aztecs.
We are. We all got your back.
Baby.
Yeah.
But, when I saw Ty working out, not just staying over here in the offseason, buying a house and staying here, working out with JP at Driveline. But when you're at Driveline and you're in your skivvies, doing hitting videos.
And getting all those things that are like all the little suction cups on you all over the place.
And all you're wearing are your tights. I'm like, man, this guy's all in.
And then you're allowing it to be videotaped. Can you imagine? I want everybody in the media to go down to Driveline. Can Driveline cure anything? Because it feels like it cures everything. So, I mean, you got gout, go to Driveline.
They'll hook you up.
They'll hook you up and then wait.
Down and put you on social media.
Can you imagine just seeing me with my shirt off and my underwear and swinging like that? That would be so disgusting, but hilarious so awesome at the same time. And
you heard what he said. He's like, I didn't know that they were going to put that on social media. Like his wife, he didn't have much social media, and his wife told him that, hey, you're like half naked on the internet swinging. He's like, oh, that's great. I didn't know that was going to happen.
Here we go. Yeah, well, and I think as you look into the season, he's probably, I mean, for me, he's one of the key parts. Because, I mean, if you get something out of him, and he gets a bounce back to where he was a couple of years ago, then man, it's such an unbelievable bonus to that lineup, and they desperately needed. I mean, I think Mitch Haniger is obviously have a great track record, but again, I'm not optimistic about it. I want to be optimistic about it because everybody loves him, but
and his injuries though, they're like these random, unlucky, unfortunate injuries. It's not like he's a guy who has hamstring problems or knee problems every year. It's like he gets hit down there in the family jewels, right? He gets hit in the face. He gets hit in an arm, and as opposed to being out for a day or two,
he's been unlucky
in his arm, and he's out for the year. Yeah, it's just unlucky, just randomness, and hopefully he'll avoid some of that. And they'll be careful with him. They're not going to ask him to play every day. He'll probably DH some, give him some rest. They've got enough pieces out there. With Ray, they could slide over and play right, or Canzone, and you put Dylan Moore in left. I mean, they have some pieces they can move around where he doesn't have to play 150 games. Not like a Julio, who's going to have to play 150 games. I'm excited about Julio because, and I know we talked about this last year. I mean, this guy finished 4th in the American League, MVP voting, right? And his numbers were good, no doubt. He's a special player. But when you do a deep dive, Puck, I mean, he had 2 good months. Right?
Yeah.
And 4 months that were, not
I think
really
it's
good.
the way it finished,
Yes.
which I think left
September.
like a sour taste. Yeah.
September went down, right.
Yeah.
If this guy puts it together, like over the course of, I mean, I can't imagine what his numbers could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How good were they last year? And he had one unbelievable month.
That's the thing with him. It's like he even said like there was things that he needs to improve on. He was disappointed how he played, and then you look at his overall numbers, and that's the beauty of baseball because it's like the overall thing, and you're like, my God, how was that? How would anybody be disappointed in that season? No one would be disappointed.
No. But he's got to get off to a better start. He's really struggled April and May, his first 2 seasons. So
but they need to get off to a better start too, and that's the thing. I don't understand why over the last few years. It feels like about 4 or 5 years where it's just they get off and they just cannot get going in this first month and a half of the season, 2 months, and then they are expending so much energy to get right back into it, and they usually do. But I wonder when. I mean, I always think there's a little bit of luck, but when does that run out on them? You know what I mean?
True.
It's just
true. They seem to be able to catch up and have hot. In August, but September, it looked like maybe they did run out of gas a little bit, right? And didn't quite make it. I don't know what that is. Some guys just slow starters. You hear our buddy, Mike Blowers talk about it. He said, I just could not hit in April. It's cold. It didn't really work for him.
Yeah. How much do you think it's weather related? Because I mean, they're coming from 84, 85 degree weather. It's wonderful. Yep. Everything you're loose, you're feeling good, and then bam, you're thrown right into a situation where it's, opening day is going to be, 40 degrees and cold.
Oh yeah, I got my overcoat, I got my long johns.
Yeah,
I'm ready to go. Absolutely, that matters a lot. And I remember talking to guys about that, and it's such a different, shift for everybody, but especially for hitters. Pitchers get loose and warm and they're fine. But what else the guys were telling me is different in Arizona, it's got that dry spring kind of weather where breaking balls don't move as much. So they're hitting not as good sliders, curves, two-seamers, cutters.
Right.
So it's different. And when they get to the regular season, if you're in a dome or like here, the roof will be closed, pitchers will be able to spin better and more, and the balls will move more. So it's like they almost have to, retrain or get used to hitting better breaking balls.
Yeah.
It takes them a little while,
That's crazy. I never even really think about that.
Factor, and that was big too. That was back when Houston was like the first team to start doing all the Rhapsody and all the StatCast and all the numbers, and they were spinning, and they would open with them and just get
annihilated.
They're like, man, we haven't seen this kind of spin since last year.
You think this?
Different.
Yeah. You think this is a make or break year for him? Again, Brad Adams with us from Root Sports, all brought to you by John Howie Steak. He'll be with us every single week on this brand new adventure at pucksports.com, which you can listen to the podcast at Spotify, Apple, wherever you find your podcast. I love saying wherever you find your podcast because I'm like, it just everybody says
Everyone.
Also, you can watch it at pucksports.com and also on the YouTube channel, which is Puck Sports.
Hey,
You were going to
there's
say
no
something?
no real dress code, right? I mean, I could.
There's no dress code. No.
Go
You,
Thai France some days and just.
yeah, you can wear whatever you want. You want to go, shirt off. We'll do it. Shirt off
Thai
Wednesday, we
France
can
day,
do.
shirt off
Yeah,
Wednesday.
shirt off Wednesdays.
All right.
You never know. And maybe it's like you can let in the little secret that you're not wearing pants when you're at the desk.
Exactly. Or now.
Although sometimes you guys are because you have to stand up.
We are. Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes it's shorts.
Sometimes people
or jeans.
get mad when we don't, in jeans, stand for a lot of golf pants for me, Puck.
Yeah, well, of course.
We don't stand for the anthem. You know, a lot of times we try to time it where we're out of a break or into a break where we cover the anthem. And sometimes, I have to work and everybody's like, stand up. And I'm like, well, I gotta do the show. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're doing the show. Leave us alone.
I'm an American, but I got to do the show.
This is talent over here. What are you guys? Come on, leave us, catch us a break.
I interrupted you. I'm sorry. What did you say?
Oh, I was going to say,
make or break.
Do you think it is? I mean, for some of these guys, or is that just this loudmouth sports guy coming up with it? It feels kind of make or break because we're 9 years into this regime, and I just wonder if do people lose patience or and look at this and go,
right.
Got it. At some point, we need to have more than just one playoff appearance.
Well, I think that's true, and I think they know that. I think this is an important year. Make or break, I don't know if I quite go there, but I think this is an important year to take the next step, right? Not just on the field, but like a mentality. Like when you go to, let's use Houston. I hate using Houston all the time, but let's use Houston or maybe even a Tampa Bay, right? And they come into the season and they're not thinking, hey, wouldn't it be great to make the postseason? God, I hope we make the wild card.
Right.
God, if we could.
Their mentality is to win it.
Yeah. Exactly. They're saying, how am I going to win the World Series? Dodgers. Like, how am I going to win World Series? Well, they just spend $1 billion. That's how the Dodgers do it, right? They just re-signed their catcher, Will Smith. Today.
Yep.
Like, what's $140 million to them, right? That's like chump change. So, the mentality of not just hoping to get there, but saying, we know we're going to make the playoffs. How are we going to advance? Like, how are we going to get to the World Series? I think that's the next step, right? The mentality that these guys have to have. I think the fans have to have it too, right? If we make the playoffs this year, it'll be great, right? And the fans will say, hey, 2 times in 3 years, this is awesome. We're great. They're like, well, let's expect that now, right?
Yeah.
Because we've gotten there and they've got this core and they've had this success the last 3 years when they're right around 90 wins every year. Get over that hump a little bit and let's talk each year about, hey, what do we have to do? What can we add to win a championship? And maybe that's where they get to this year.
Okay, give me you mentioned him. Last thing for you. You mentioned Ty France. Give me another breakout guy. Last thing. It's okay. We're not going to take you too long here on the first one.
Okay.
On first one, we'll keep it nice and tight. But then next week when we get started, we're gonna go long and hard.
Good, I like that.
That's going to be the name of the show.
Yeah, that's what she said.
That should be the name of the show. Hey, welcome back to Long and Hard. Yeah, I bet we could get a sponsor for that.
There you go. What would you say? A breakout?
Yeah, who's a breakout besides France? I mean,
bounce back. Offensively, I'll go with Canzone. I just think that he's going to. I think he's going to end up playing more than Rayleigh out in left field.
Yeah.
Defense might be a little bit of a concern, but I mean, what do you have? I think 5 homers to lead the team in the spring, and they're very impressed with what he did this offseason. Added 10 to 15 pounds, like a lot of us do.
God, I would love to do that. God.
And just get bigger and stronger.
So good.
There's a lot of potential there.
Yeah.
So
he looks the part.
Bat to ball, and he does. So I'm going to say, give him a chance. I like him, France. I like the 1 through 9. It'll be a fun year.
Good.
We're on at 6 tonight. A full hour pregame, my friend.
Oh, pregame.
Everything. I
God, you're the best.
Make-A-Wish, running around the
Root Sports.
When the kid does that.
The whole crew.
Nelson's first pitch.
Yeah.
Felix will be there. Oh,
good.
It's going to be fun.
You're the best.
I will be there. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you for doing it. Thank you for signing on, and appreciate you helping me out. And I'm indebted to you forever for it.
I appreciate it. I'll remember that.
Yeah.
And John, really sewed this deal up.
I will. And
on the fence. I'm on the fence. I'm like,
I promise we'll get you an introduction to John.
Howie came through. There you go. He came through for us.
There he is. Brad Adam, Root Sports, all brought to you by John Howie Steak.